the Fiio FT3. Let's talk about it. Now, this headphone was sent out to me by Apos Audio, and I wanted to sincerely appreciate them. They're really great to work with, and they're a great store that ships quickly. Now, this is an interesting headphone. It's been teased for a while since I've been in the hobby, and it has kind of a unique kind of ninja star looking side design. It is using a beryllium coated dynamic driver. It has a 3.5 double connection on both sides, which is used in many headphones like the Focals and the Hi-Fi-Man and the headphones. So it's a very common terminal connection, so it means that using this with other cables is a nice, easy thing to have. It's a $300 headphone, and it has some good qualities and some bad qualities, and it might be for you. Then again, it might not. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this awesome headphone and go from there. Now, swapping out the ear pads on this is really easy, and it has two different sets, suedes and leathers. I mean, it's done in just a few seconds, as you can see here. It's really a great process, and pad swap is good. The problem with these pads, though, is they are very thin, and they are hard to keep for me to keep on my ears. I just find them super uncomfortable, but the sound overall is pretty nice. I like the design. I think it's kind of cool. You can't really swivel these too much, but it's not bad. It does have this case. I think this case is okay. It's not perfect. It's not the best. It feels pretty nice. I feel like it's kind of old and kind of has like an almost 70s feel. You have different style terminal connections that can really fit on any style amp, which is a positive for many. I think this is kind of a good thing, but again, it's not perfect system. I kind of prefer separate cables rather than the swappable terminations, but it just kind of depends on what you need. Now, the cable itself is pretty good. I mean, it feels good in hand. It is terminating that 3.5 connection. It's a nice cable, but it is highly microphonic, which is unideal, but it's still a good quality cable that has no major fault, has nice Fiio branding on it, and it is handsome looking with no major issues, and I like it. Now, this headphone can be bought on Apos Audio for around $300. I think sometimes they might have it refurbished or B-stock for a little bit less, which, could be good. And, it's a reasonably priced headphone as far as if you want to talk value. It's comfortable. It's just that the ear pads aren't very thick for me. And so for me and for what I like in headphones, it doesn't quite work that well. Now, there are other headphones you can buy from Apos that I would recommend, like the Hi-Fi-Man Edition XS, which you can buy for about the same price. It's recently kind of gone down for various reasons. I feel maybe they're doing a new kind of headphone at that price, or they're trying to clear stock as they move on, but Hi-Fi-Man across all the stores have lowered that price quite a bit, and this could be a really good headphone for you. I own a set of these, and I kind of prefer it, and I feel like sound profile and comfort for me is just a little bit bigger. I like the Eggman like headphone drivers, and it kind of feels like it has a little bit of better sense of space and micro details. For me, it feels more expensive and premium, and I feel like that's a fantastic price for that headphone. If you look, there's also another headphone that I think it's a really great bargain at this price, the Odyssey Maxwell. It has swappable pads, and it is pretty comfortable and wireless, and it has a mic on it if you need it. Now, this headphone has some issues, and we're going to talk about those in the sound section here in a minute. Now the FR of this graph, this is on Gadgetry Tech's rig. You can tell it has a little bit more bass and kind of that lower mid-range region here. So it is a little bit warm and thick in the mids, and you'll notice a slight dip in the upper mid-range. So if you normalize this at, say, 550, which it actually isn't, you'll notice it can be quite a bit more bass to notice. So if you're after kind of a warm set, it could be good. Oftentimes in headphones, it's kind of considered to be like the primal place to raise your bass is right around, 80 to 85 or maybe 100. And you'll notice that they'll have like a little bit less bass in that region. Whereas like IEMs, I feel that need way more bass, and like starting out like this 200 region. So my personal kind of take on this graph is that the upper mids and air are decent despite its comfort, but there's a little bit of that 5K energy which comes across as sibilance for me, and a little bit of this muddy region that kind of comes in here. And I feel like the bass shelf, especially on this headphone, should start to rise right about there and kind of be flat through here, and then boom, hit right there. That's just kind of my personal take on how this would be, and I would do a little bit of EQ to fix this, and I think it would sound better. Again, it's not bad, but for my ear canal, it did not work. Now, we compare this to the Addiction XS. I mean, the Addiction XS has a nice curve, a little bit more flat, a little bit more rolled off sub bass, and you will notice that it does have a little bit of a lack in the 1.5K region, which, isn't always bad, but, it's not exactly what I perfectly prefer, but it's a solid, it's a solid tune. These are both pretty good headphones for the price. And it kind of depends what you need, but personally, again, I like the Edition XS, but the accessory package game of the Fiio FT3 is quite exceptional, and if that's something that you value, it could be better. Now, this is another my concern. If we take and we can look at this, we can compare this to this is Tech Power Ups, Hi-Fi Man Edition XS. You'll just notice a little bit less of that muddy mid bass, and you'll notice a little bit better air. It's kind of a tilt. One's tilted bassy, one's tilted with a little bit more treble, and neither of them are overly excessive, but depending on your wants and needs, it could dictate which one might be better for you. All right, the FT3, let's rank this guy up. I think it's a decent headphone. I mean, it's not the worst, it's not the best, it's well accessorized. I think if you're looking at it and you're excited about it and it works for you, I think it could be good. But I think it's something that if you get the opportunity to demo it first, please do, because the pad depth and felt could actually not work for you, as they did not work for me. There's a lot of options out there with headphones, and a lot of headphones are about finding the right comfort and cable and setup for yourself. And this headphone has a lot of good things for it, but it's not perfect. Fiio has been on fire as of late. They've done some great things. I like this design, and I think they are really going to start. This is like their first headphone, and they're starting to develop some good things. And like the hi-fi market's starting to do some really great things in the headphone land. Like there's a lot of these Chinese companies that are doing audiophile grade headphones that are starting to do really well. Again, I think this, for a first headphone in the market, this is a good one. And I know they have the FT5, which I haven't tried. And they also have the FT1, an open back, which I recently got and love. And I'll probably be reviewing on the channel in a few weeks. Again, the pads, if you look at them here, they are kind of thin when we press on them. It's just not a lot of depth to the ear pads, and that's my major fault with this. But overall, I think it's a fine set, and I think it could work for you if ear pad comfort doesn't bother you. But I do have rather large ears, and that might have a problem there. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Go watch another IEM video. It's done. That's the entire video. What more do you want?